Hello everybody. Today I will be doing some more problems from the single phase AC circuits. You can see the problem on the screen. The problem is like this. An alternating voltage of 80 plus J60 volts is applied to a circuit and the current flowing is minus 4 plus J10 amperes. Find the impedance of the circuit and the power consumed and the power factor angle. Here the voltage and current, they are given in the form of a complex number. So, if I, as per the Ohm's law, if I divide the voltage with the current, I will be getting a resistance in the case of DC circuits, whereas in AC circuits, the ratio of voltage to current will result in impedance of the circuit. Now, impedance can be a capacitive impedance or a inductive impedance depending upon the phase angle relationship between voltage and current. Now, in solving this problem, we can convert these voltage and current which are in the complex form or what we call it as a rectangular form into polar coordinates, where the voltage and current will be expressed in the form of a vector in magnitude and a phase angle with respect to the reference quantity. Here in this problem the reference quantity is not mentioned, but I will be taking the horizontal axis or x axis as a reference quantity. When I convert this voltage V, which is 80 plus J60, to a polar coordinate system, I can use the Pythagoras theorem, okay, or I can also use a calculator in converting from rectangular to the polar form. Okay. Now, I will be also showing you a slide, 1 or 2 slides, how to use the calculator for these conversions. Okay. But before that, I will like to try to do this problem on the what is appearing on the screen. First, here I will take this voltage V, which is 80 plus J60. Now, the magnitude of this voltage is given by 80 square plus 60 square, this comes to be 100, and the angle theta is equals to tan inverse 60 upon 80. So, that angle will come to be 53.13 degrees. Now, the angle is positive because both the real component and imaginary component are positive. Now, the same way the current also be converted to polar form, where I have a current to be minus 4 plus J10. So, the magnitude of the current is given by 4 square plus 10 square, that is square root of 116, and the angle what you have is tan inverse of the real part 10 divided by the imaginary part of 10 divided by real part of 4. Okay. Now, in a rectangular coordinate system, if you see here, in the first quadrant both the real as well as imaginary components are positive, whereas in the second component the real part will be negative, but the imaginary part will be positive. Therefore, this angle what you have here, what you get for the current should be greater than 90, so that the real part what you have negative here will give you the angle between the current and the reference axis. So, this is my reference axis here. Okay. So, with this respect to the reference, the current is at an angle of the voltage is at an angle of 53.13 degrees. Okay, 53.13. Now, you can see here in the current expression, the real part is much lesser than the imaginary part. Therefore, the angle will be here less than 180, definitely, because it should lie in the second quadrant, but slightly more than 90 degrees, not very large value. Okay. So, if you see the solution on the screen, I have a solution here. You can see the current comes to be with a magnitude of 10.77, that is square root of 116, 10.77, and the angle what you have is 111.8, 111.8 degrees. Okay. As I told you, you can see this is almost closer to 90, not exactly 90 degrees, but closer to 90. Okay. That is, suppose say if the real part is minus 10 and imaginary part is plus 4, then I could have had this angle larger than or I can say it is closer to 180 degrees. Okay. So here if I write down the current vector, I have the current vector to be like this, okay. So what I have drawn on the board, the magnitude don't compare because the magnitudes are very difficult to write, okay. I can draw a longer length for the voltage. So I just make a correction. In fact, I will erase this part and I show you that this is the voltage axis, voltage vector, and the current vector has an angle of 111.8 degrees, okay. Now you can see the voltage has a longer magnitude than the current. So that is because the magnitudes are large for the voltage, but the angle for the current, if you draw, if you measure, I will be getting 111.8 degrees, okay. This is the angle, okay. Now I can write down the impedance as Z is equals to V divided by I, where your V will be 100 at an angle of 53.13, current will be 10.77 at an angle of 111.8 degrees. So the ratio of these two, okay. Now what you have to do is, in finding out the magnitude of the impedance, you need to divide the magnitudes, that is 100 divided by 10.77 will get you 9.28, and angle of, I should write here 53.13 minus of 111.8 degrees. So there is a difference of these two, numerator angle and the denominator angle, the difference of these two you should take, okay. While taking the difference, you can see here this is a positive angle, therefore I will get a minus sign here. So this will give you an angle of 74.94, okay, degrees, and I call it as units as ohms. So the impedance now, here we have 9.28 ohms at an angle of 74.94. Now as the angle is positive here, I can say that in this circuit I have a combination of resistor and inductor in series, okay. But I am not interested what is the resistance value and what is the reactance value. Even with the data what is available, it is possible for us to calculate what is the resistance and what is the reactance. Suppose if I want to do that, okay, as it is not asked in the problem, but still I am telling you, I can write Z is equals to R plus jx. Why I am taking plus sign here means the angle what you have here, actually this angle should be negative now, okay, because 53.13 minus 111.8 will give you a negative angle, therefore I should write a minus sign here, jx, okay. So R will be Z cos theta, j, x will be Z sin theta, okay. So I will be getting a resistance value as 9.28 cos of 74.94, okay, and the capacitive reactance will be 9.28 sin of 74.94. So this gives us the resistance, this gives us the capacitance values, okay, capacitive reactance value. Remember, it is not possible to calculate the capacitance value here because I do not know what is the frequency of the voltage source. It has not given any data about the frequency, therefore it is not possible to calculate the capacitance value, but I can calculate just the capacitive reactance. Now why I say the reactance is capacitive means the angle what I have here will be negative angle, okay. I think I have some correction here. What I say is, see here the angle what you have here, this is I have written in a wrong way, this angle comes to be 36.86, okay, 36.86. Therefore when you have this angle as 36.86 here and 36.86 here will give you the correct angle as 74.94, okay. Now how can you say this is 36.84, how can I say that is a wrong means? See, this real part is larger than the imaginary part, okay. When the real part is larger than the imaginary part, the angle what all you get should be less than 45 degrees. If imaginary part is larger than the real part, the angle will be more than 45 degrees. If both are equal, then I can write down blindly that the angle is 45 degrees, okay. Now as per the problem, if you want to calculate the power consumed, okay, and power factor, okay. So power consumed will be, I can write down like this, power P is equals to the product of RMS value of the voltage and RMS value of the current and cosine of the angle between voltage and current. Only RMS values are involved here, so I will be getting the average value of the power. So in this I have the voltage to be 100 volts, current to be 10.77, okay, 10.77, and the power factor, that is cos of the angle between voltage and current, means I should take the current angle minus the voltage angle, which comes to be 74.94, like this. So the product of this will give you the power as 279.837 watts. The answer is given on the screen. So you can see that 279.837 watts. So the power factor angle, if you try to calculate, the power factor angle is the angle what you have here, 74.94. The power factor will be cosine of that angle. So what I will be getting it as 0.2598. Okay. So this is the solution here for this particular problem. Now I will take the next problem. The problem is like this: find an expression for the current and calculate the power when a voltage represented by V is equal to 283 sin 100 pi t is applied to a coil having R is equal to 50 ohms and L is equals to 0.159 Henry. Okay. So now this coil will have a resistance and this given inductance in a series combination. Okay. So this problem, if you write as a circuit, I write the circuit like this. The coil can be represented as a series combination of resistance and inductance, okay, R and L. The resistance happens to be 50 ohms and the inductance happens to be 0.159 Henry, 0.159 Henry. To this combination I am connecting a voltage source which gives us a current of I. So that current will flowing through this, okay. The frequency of this, if I check with the problem, I have sin 100 pi t. Therefore, when I write Vm sin omega t as the instantaneous value, what I have here is 283 sin 100 pi t we have here, okay. So if I compare this to, I have omega is equals to 100 pi, okay. Omega is equal to 100 pi means pi value of 3.14, therefore I will be getting 314 radians per second. This is my angular frequency omega. Now if I want to calculate, I can also write down here omega is equals to 2 pi f. So f will be equals to 100 pi divided by 2 pi, I will be getting 50 cycles per second or 50 hertz I can call, okay. Now here you see the current what you have I passing to the resistance will give us a voltage drop, that if I write the voltage drop as VR, I have VR is equals to I times R. The same current will give you a voltage drop of VL. I write VL is equal to JIXL. Combining these two, I have V is equals to VR plus JVL, or it is okay. I can write like this, VR vector form. Therefore, it is IR plus JIXL. So this gives us I times R plus JXL, okay. So that XL value I can also say it is V is equals to I times R plus J omega L. for I is equals to V divided by R plus j omega L. So, unless you take the inductance and frequency, I cannot calculate the current value in the circuit. Now, as per this equation, the current what is taking place in the circuit is combined effect of inductor and resistance value. Okay. So, now to calculate the expression for current, I need to substitute the RMS value of the voltage here. I can also do by substituting the maximum value, that is 283 volts in this, then I do not get the RMS value of the current, I will be getting the maximum value of the current. Even that is also correct, okay. Since in writing the current equation, I use a maximum value, okay. Therefore, here I will be doing with the RMS value. So, maximum value divided by root 2 will be the RMS value upon resistance is 50 ohms plus j, omega is 314 and the inductance value is 0.159. Okay. So, if I simplify this term, I can show that the current what you have will be 2.83 amperes. Okay. The current is 2.83 amperes. In the denominator, the product what you will give, it will give you 50 ohms. Therefore, let me write that full expression. So, 283 divided by root 2 upon 50 plus j 50. So, if I write the denominator in polar form, I will be getting here 50 square root of 2 is the magnitude, angle of 45 degrees. Now, you see, I have not calculated the angle as tan inverse imaginary part by real part, because both are equal. Directly I can write down 45 degrees here. Okay. So, the root 2 and root 2 will give you 283 divided by 100 at an angle of minus 45. The angle for the numerator voltage is 0 because I am taking that as a reference parameter here. Okay. I can also draw the phasor diagram for this, because the current is a reference quantity. I draw the current as a reference vector, the voltage VR will be in phase with this, okay. The voltage VL will lead the current by 90 degrees. So, addition of these two will give you the resultant voltage as the applied voltage, okay. So, in drawing the phasor diagram, I have taken the current as reference, but when I come to the position of the current, I take the voltage as a reference here and say the current has an angle of 45 degrees with respect to the reference. At the when you rotate these two vectors in the counterclockwise direction at angular velocity of omega, always the current will follow the voltage axis, voltage vector by a difference of 45 degrees. Current lying behind the voltage vector. Therefore, we say the negative sign here, and we say that current in RL circuit is lagging behind the voltage by 45 degrees. Now, this RMS value of the current comes to be 2.83 at an angle of minus 45 degrees. Okay. This is the phase of the current, phase of the voltage is 0 degrees. So, the phase difference what you have between current and voltage is 45 degrees. So, if I want to calculate the power here, I can write down power, average power is equals to VI cos of the angle between voltage and current. So, I will be taking 283 divided by root 2, the RMS value of the voltage, 2.83 the RMS value of the current, cosine of 45. Okay. So, I am not taking the minus sign here because cos of a negative value is also a positive value. So, this gives you the power, okay, power value. Now, power will be simplifying this, I will be getting a value of around 400.22 watts. If you try to calculate or write down the current expression, I need to write down the maximum value for this, okay. This is the RMS value. Therefore, I maximum will be IRMS multiplied by root 2, okay. So, that gives us 2.83 multiplied by root 2, you will be getting a value around 4, okay. Therefore, I can write down the instantaneous current I of t is equal to 4 sin 314 t, or omega t itself we can write down, okay, or 100 pi itself we can write down. 100 pi, there won't be any change in the frequency, but the current has a phase angle difference of 45 degrees lagging behind the voltage, okay. Since it is lagging behind, I write minus here, the angle what I have 45 degrees, I write that. So this is the expression for the current, okay. So this is the solution of the problem. Now coming to the next problem, it is very simple, calculations are also very easy here, okay. A current of average value 18.019 amperes is flowing in a circuit to which a voltage of peak value 141.42 volts is applied. Determine what is the impedance in the polar form and the power. Assume voltage lags current by 30 degrees, okay. So here, as per the problem, I am taking the current as a reference because it is given that voltage is lagging behind the current by 30 degrees. See, in calculating the power, you always should use RMS values, okay, and in calculating the impedance, we should always use the RMS value of voltage and current. Now here, it is given that the average value is equals to, current average value is 18.019 amperes. What is the expression for average value? I average is I maximum multiplied by 2 divided by pi, or I can also write it as 0.637 I maximum, okay. So I calculate I maximum by dividing I average with this 0.637, okay. This is the maximum value. Then I will be using the IRMS value will be I maximum divided by square root of 2. So I will get the RMS value of the current. Similarly, I have been given the peak value, that is the maximum value of the voltage, as 141.42 volts, peak value it is. So to convert this into RMS value, I need to divide IRMS or VRMS. Normally we write it as simple V. This is V maximum divided by square root of 2. So it is 141.42 divided by 1.4142. This will give you exactly 100 volts as the RMS value, okay. Now RMS value of the current also we can calculate by dividing the maximum value by root 2, fine. Now to calculate the impedance, I should write impedance is equals to RMS value of the voltage divided by RMS value of the current. I stands for the RMS value, or you can also use this notation. Generally, whenever I mention capital I for AC circuits, the value of the current will be RMS value, okay. So here RMS value of the voltage is 100, RMS value of the current what you have is I maximum by root 2, okay. Now if you see the last line of the problem, it says that voltage is lagging current by 30 degrees, therefore I should put an angle of minus 30 in the numerator, okay, minus 30 in the numerator. Now if I see the current value RMS value comes to be of course the solution what I have done, I am showing you in terms of the peak value. So if the numerator is peak, denominator also peak, it is one and the same, because RMS value of the voltage is peak value divided by root 2. Here also I will divide peak value by root 2, okay. So the peak value what I am getting here will be I average, that is 18.019 divided by 0.637, this is the peak value, this divided by root 2 in the denominator will give you the RMS value, okay. right? I gave a simplified calculations there. I have not shown the detailed steps there on the circuit, okay. So this gives us an impedance of 4.979 at an angle of minus 30 ohms, okay. Now with this sign of the angle, I can say that in the circuit I have a resistor and a capacitor combination in series, okay. Now when it comes to the power, on the slide I have given a solution like this, half of Vm Im, okay, cosine of angle between V and I, okay. So this Vm by root 2, Im upon root 2, that is the RMS value of the voltage, RMS value of the current, cosine of the angle between RMS value of voltage and current, that is the expression for average power. So the RMS value I have written it as maximum value by root 2, current also maximum value by root 2. So square root of 2 into square root of 2 in the denominator will give you 2 in the denominator, okay. That is why this is also the power equation for the average value of the power. I know the peak value 141.42. I know the peak value given like this, I average by 0.637. Cosine of the angle between voltage and current, what you see here is 30 degrees, okay. It is given in the statement itself, okay, 30 degree. So I will take cos 30, which comes to be 0.866. Then the power product and all, it will results in 1739.14 watts. This will be the power consumed in the circuit. Only the resistance of the circuit will be consuming this power, because capacitive reactance, the average power consumption will be 0, okay. So this is a simple solution. Now see, any problem given can be solved in many ways, okay. We always try to use minimum number of steps in solving the problem, and we should do it in a correct way, okay. See here, I can also do this problem just by calculating the maximum value, okay. As I told you here, when V is the RMS value, if I take the maximum value and divide by root 2, I maximum divided by root 2, okay. So there won't be any difference, the numerator is Vrms, denominator is Irms. So why should I again calculate the RMS value when I can able to write down the expression like this? Therefore I can directly substitute in the peak value of the voltage here and peak value of the current here with this root 2 in the denominator. Whether you take the ratio as RMS values or the peak values, it is one and the same, okay. So you can reduce the number of steps in doing this problem, okay. This is another problem where an inductor coil is connected to supply of 250 volts at 50 hertz and takes a current of 5 amperes. The coil dissipates 750 watts. Calculate the power factor, resistance and inductance of the coil. Here also the impedance value of the coil is not given directly, okay. So but see, the impedance will involves two parameters, resistance and inductance, okay. Whenever you have a coil, you should write the circuit like this only, resistance of the coil, inductance of the coil, okay. Now I am connecting this coil to a 250 volt voltage source, 250 volts. Now this is taking a current of 5 amperes, okay, 5 amperes. The voltage source has a frequency of 50 hertz, okay, and the coil is dissipating a power of 750 watts. Out of this combination, when this inductance is connected to a supply of frequency 50 hertz, I will be getting a inductive reactance, okay. Now while doing the relationship between behavior of inductor in AC circuits, we have derived that the average power consumed by a pure inductor is 0. So then the given 750 watts what you have in the problem, it is power dissipated in the resistance of the circuit, got it, power dissipated in the resistance. Therefore I can write down I square R, power dissipated in the circuit, is equals to 750 watts. I is 5 amperes. So 5 square is 25 multiplied by R is equal to 750. So I will be getting R is equal to 750 upon 25. So directly it is 30 ohms. Okay. R is 30. Then what is the inductive reactance or what is the inductance of the coil? Okay. So this inductive reactance, it involves two parameters, inductance as well as the frequency of the system. Okay. So when it write the inductive reactance XL, this is the product of angular frequency omega and the inductance. I will write here 2 pi f is the angular frequency multiplied by the inductance value. Okay. So f is 50 hertz, so therefore 2 pi into 50 into L, this comes to be 314 L. To get the value of inductance, I should know what is the value of the inductive reactance. Okay. To calculate the inductive reactance, what is I need to calculate the impedance of the circuit. Impedance, it is a combined effect of resistance and inductance in the circuit. So to get the impedance value, I need to find out the ratio of RMS value of the voltage to the RMS value of the current. So the combination R and L, it is being given a 250 volt RMS value of voltage. Okay, voltage RMS value is 250 volts, that is the supply, and the combination is taking a current of 5 amperes, therefore I put 5 here. Okay. Remember, I know that the current will be lagging behind by the voltage by some angle because of the presence of inductance, but the what angle it is, that is not given, therefore I will be calculating only the magnitude of the impedance as per this ratio. Actually this impedance is a vector quantity, so I will be just calculating the magnitude of the impedance. Okay. So 250 divided by 5 will give us 50 ohms as the impedance magnitude. Okay. When Z is equal to 50, R is equal to XL. If you take this equation magnitude of Z in terms of R and L XL, now see, I told you this impedance is a complex number. When I write the impedance Z as a complex number, I have it as R plus J XL. Magnitude of the impedance will be given by square root of R square plus XL square. Okay. I have here 50. This is square root of 30 square plus XL square. So I can have 50 square is equal to 30 square plus XL square. Therefore I can write down the value of XL. Okay. So if I solve this, your XL value comes to be 40 ohms. Okay. XL is equal to 40 ohms. As per this equation, your XL will be is equal to 314 L. Therefore L is equal to 40 ohms divided by the angular frequency of omega 314. So this will give you the value of the inductance to be 0.1274 Henry. Okay. 1274 Henry. This complete solution I have given on the screen. You can see that. So these are the minimum number of steps by which I can solve this problem. Okay. I have another one. This is a current 10 amperes flowing in a circuit with a 30-degree angle of lag when the applied voltage is 100 volts. Find the resistance, reactance and impedance, the conductance and susceptance and admittance. Okay. So this is also very simple. It all involves the ratio of complex numbers. See, the solution is like this. I have a current of 30 and it says the current has an angle of 30 degrees lagging. So I took the angle as minus 30. Okay. You can see the solution here. So this magnitude is 10. I have a magnitude of 10 here, angle of minus 30, applied voltage is 100 because it is a reference, I took the angle as 0, impedance Z is equal to V by I, so 100 at an angle 0 divided by 10 at an angle minus 30, so that will give you 10 at an angle 30. I divided the magnitudes, angles 0 minus of minus 30, so I will be getting plus 30. Here resistance R is equal to Z cos 30, okay. That means on the coordinate system I have, with respect to the reference axis, that is the x axis, my impedance is 10 ohms, it has an angle of 30 degrees, okay. Resolving this into real and vertical or horizontal and vertical components, I will be getting resistance and the reactance. Understand? Okay. Why I am calling it as a reactance means I could have written it as inductive reactance also. I know that the current has an angle of minus 30 degrees with respect to the reference voltage. So that means current is lagging behind the voltage. This happens only in the RL circuit, okay. But still I just called it as a reactance because the problem does not say anything about calculate the inductance and all, okay. So R is equal to Z cos phi, Z cos theta or phi, whatever you write. So value of Z is 10, cos theta this is 30, so I will be getting resistance as 8.66 ohms. This is 0.866 you get multiplied by 10, 8.66. Reactance X is equal to Z sin 5 theta here. So Z is 10, sin 30 is half, therefore I will be getting the reactance as 5 ohms, okay. When I want to calculate the admittance, okay, while doing the parallel circuits I told you admittance Y is equal to reciprocal of the impedance, fine, it is a reciprocal of the impedance. So therefore when you try to calculate the conductance, I will be getting this as 1 upon 10 at an angle of minus 30, the impedance has an angle of plus 30, sorry. So plus 30, therefore I will be getting this as 0.1 at an angle of 30 degrees with a minus sign, okay. Now again converting this into, see the unit wise the impedance has a dimension of ohm, admittance will have a dimension of ohm inverse, or I write it as mho. Symbol wise I write ohm like this, okay, mho it is the inverted sign. Now again converting this into rectangular form, I will be getting 0.1 multiplied by 0.866 minus j.5. So this will be 0.0866 is the conductance minus j 0.05, okay. Now this 0.05 what you have, that is the susceptance of the circuit. So I have another problem, this is also about the series combination. Resistance of 100 ohms is connected in series with a 50 microfarad capacitor to a supply at 200 volts 50 hertz. Find the impedance, the current and the power factor, the voltage across the resistor and across the capacitor. Here if you see the solution, I have been given the resistance value and the capacitance value. Therefore I need to convert first this into impedance, okay. For that the capacitance value will be converted to capacitive reactance and combined with the resistance to get the impedance value. Now if you see follow the solution on the screen, you can make out the steps what I have here. So resistance is 100 ohms, it is given, capacitance is 50 microfarads, supply voltage is 200 volts 50 hertz. See I converted the capacitance to capacitive reactance, okay. Xc is equals to 1 upon 2 pi Fc, this comes to be 63.694 ohms. Without converting the capacitance which is in farads, I cannot add it vectorially to the resistance because the dimension of this is ohms, the dimension of this is microfarads. Unless I convert this microfarads to ohms, it is not possible to combine these two and find out the impedance which is opposing the current. Okay. In the series RC circuit, the opposition what is given, it is by both resistance as well as capacitance. So to find out that opposition, which is nothing but the impedance, I need to convert the capacitance to ohms. For that itself, I am just multiplying the capacitance with angular frequency of omega, which is 2 pi f, then taking the reciprocal of that, okay, as per the definition of the capacitive reactance. Now you see this is 63.694 ohms, this is also ohms, therefore I can write down the impedance Z is equals to R minus J XC, okay, 100 minus J 63.694. This being a capacitive reactance, always this capacitive reactance will be associated with minus J, okay. So now combining this or converting this into polar form, that is magnitude angle form, I will be getting like this 118.562 at an angle of minus 32.5 degrees, okay. For this conversion, as I told you, you can write down Pythagoras theorem or you can use a calculator, okay. So all calculators will have almost same type of calculations for converting, fine. In the end of this PPT, I will show you, before closing the session today, I will be showing you 2 slides about how to convert using the calculator, okay. All calculators are almost similar functions will be there. So if you have a calculator other than what I am showing, you can use the Google search giving the calculator say model number, okay, not model number, what you call FX881 or something like that, that number, okay. On the Google search you will get a catalog. If you go through the catalog, they give us the steps to be followed for converting the complex term to polar form, that is rectangular to polar form or polar to rectangular form. So in this problem, once you calculate the impedance, you can divide the voltage with the impedance to get the current value, okay. Now I have just taken only the magnitude of the impedance here, the angle it won't be any change here because angle for the voltage is 0, impedance angle is minus 32.5, because the impedance is the denominator, the angle of the current becomes 32.5, okay. Now blindly you can neglect the sign here because it is an RC circuit. In RC circuit the currents always leads the voltages, therefore this minus sign you can neglect, directly put 32.5 degrees. So the power factor for the circuit is cosine of the angle between voltage and current, so that is cos of 32.5, I will be getting a value of 0.8434. Because the angle is positive, I call the power factor as a leading power factor, okay. Now similarly the voltage across the resistor, if I want to calculate, I know the resistance value, I know the RMS value of the current, multiply these two, okay. So that I will be getting the voltage, this is the RMS value of the voltage. Voltage across the capacitor, if you want to calculate, same procedure I can follow, I times XC will give you the magnitude of the voltage, but because it is the voltage across the capacitor, it is associated with minus J. Therefore the voltage across the capacitor I can write like this, minus J 107.44, or you can also write this as 107.44 at an angle of minus 90 degrees, okay. So this is also a similar problem about non-inductive resistors of 10 ohms is in series with a capacitor of 100 microfarads across a 250 volts 50 hertz AC supply. Determine the current taken by the capacitor and power factor of the circuit. It almost follows the same steps. I know the resistance, I know the capacitance, convert this to capacitive reactance, add it, I will be getting the impedance of the circuit, divide the voltage with the impedance value, you will be getting the current, okay. Because the resistor and capacitors, they are connected in series, capacitor also will carry the same current. Then the power factor, it is the cosine of the angle between voltage and current, okay. Now this solution I have been provided here, you can see this solution on the screen. If you go through the solution, you can make out the steps what I have used to calculate this problem or to solve this problem. Now coming to this, it is a series RLC circuit, okay, circuit connected across a 50 hertz supply, R is equal to 100 ohms, L is equal to 159.16 millihenries and the capacitance C is equal to 63.7 microfarads. If the voltage across the C is 150 at an angle minus 90 degree volts, find the supply voltage, Okay. Now see here, when you connect all the three voltages, three elements in series across a voltage source, I am forming one closed loop. The current what is flowing to the circuit will give you the individual voltage drops. Voltage drop across R, voltage drop across L, and voltage drop across capacitance. Any one of the voltage drops are sufficient to calculate the current in the circuit, because all three elements are connected in series. If any one element voltage is known for me, I can calculate the current. So as I know the voltage across the capacitor, dividing this voltage with the capacitive reactance value, not the capacitance, capacitive reactance value, you can find out that current. So that current when flowing through the inductance, okay, will give you a inductive voltage drop, which I calculate it as IXL. So I cannot just take directly L, I need to take the frequency also into consideration. Frequency is given by this 50 hertz. I need to convert that 50 hertz to radians, that is omega I have to do it. So 2 pi f, so that will give you 314 radians. That multiplied by inductance will give you inductive reactance, because this millihenry what you have should be converted to ohms. So the effect of the inductance in the circuit should be expressed in terms of ohms. For that purpose, I will be multiplying the inductance with the frequency value in radians per second. So that multiplied by the current value what I have taken, that will give you the voltage drop across the inductance. Similarly, resistance multiplied by the current will give you drop across the resistance. So adding all the three voltages vectorially, okay, remember the current what you have in the circuit is a vector, therefore all the voltage drops are also vectors. So adding all the three voltages vectorially, you will be getting the total supply voltage. That means along with the magnitudes, you should also consider what is the direction for the voltages. Now since it is a RLC circuit, current will be reference, voltage across the resistance will be in phase with the current, inductive voltage will be leading the current by 90 degrees, capacitive voltage which is 150 at an angle minus 90, this minus sign says the voltage across the capacitor lagging behind the current by 90 degrees. So one voltage in the vertical and other voltage in the negative side, okay. So that two results and will be added to the voltage across VR, okay, that will give you the total voltage. So here I gave the solution for this circuit also. So I take the impedance here, total impedance, okay, but the total impedance is not necessary here, fine, or else this problem can also be done like this, okay. Now this is the more simple way of doing the problem compared than the procedure what I told you, because I am just converting the inductance to inductive reactance, capacitance to capacitive reactance. If you see the circuit here, okay, this is a problem statement, I know the inductance value, I know the capacitance value, so this can be converted to inductive reactance, this can be converted to capacitive reactance, combination of all three will give you the impedance. If you see the impedance equation here, you have see omega L and omega C what I have calculated, right, both are coming to be 50 ohms, 50 and 50, multiplication of this will give you 50 ohms, calculation of this term will give you 50 ohms. So 50 minus 50 becomes 0, okay. So that impedance is behaving just like a pure resistor, because see the imaginary part is 0, so I have only resistor. So what all the current which is there in the circuit, okay, that will give you the voltage drops across the resistor, inductor and capacitor, but the voltage across the inductor and capacitor will be equal in magnitude and opposite in direction, therefore they cancel. So the total voltage what it is given, it appears that the complete source voltage is across the resistance only, but strictly speaking the capacitor and the inductor they also have the voltages, but they are equal and opposite, okay. Suppose if I say after calculating the impedance, then I calculate the current, right, see I have calculated the current in the circuit, okay. So when I calculate the current in the circuit, I got the current to be 3 amperes, 150 by 50, minus 90 cancels, so I get 3 amperes, 3 multiplied by 100, 300 volts, 3 multiplied by 50, 150, 3 multiplied by another 50, 150. So the voltage across the capacitor and inductors are equal. Okay. Therefore, the supply voltage what you have 300 volts will be completely dropped across the resistance value. Okay. Now as I told you, I will be stopping this session up to this problem, okay, and then from next session onwards I will be doing a 3-phase AC circuits. At the end of the 3-phase AC circuits I will be continuing with this problems. Okay. Now before closing the session today, I like to show you the calculation of, see this is what I am using, these are the two calculators. I think the second calculator what you are seeing here, it is a programmable calculator, so probably this is not allowed in the exam. So what I have